Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off in Children of Blood and Bone, Chapter 22. Amari. Back home at the palace, every window in my quarters only allowed me to look in. Father had the new wing constructed right after I was born, insistent that every window could only face the courtyard. The most I could see of the outside world was the leopard orchids of the royal garden in full bloom. The palace is all you need to be concerned with, father would say when I begged him for a different view. Orisha's future is decided within these walls. As princess, yours will be too. I tried to hold on to his words, allow palace life to satiate me the way it did mother. I made an effort to socialize with the other Oleis and their daughters. I attempted to find entertainment in palace gossip. But at night, I used to sneak into Enon's quarters and climb out to the balcony overlooking our capital. I would imagine what lay beyond the wooden walls of Lagos, the beautiful world I longed to see. One day, I would whisper to Binta. One day indeed, she would smile back. As I dreamed, I never imagined the hell of the jungle, all the mosquitoes and sweat and jagged stones. But after 4 days in the desert, I'm convinced there's no limit to the hells Orisha can hold. The desert provides no foxer meat to eat, no water or coconut milk to drink. All it gifts us with is sand. Endless mountains of sand. Despite the scarf wrapped so tightly around my face I can barely breathe, grains settle in my mouth, my nose, my ears. Their persistence is matched only by the scorching sun, a final touch to this bleak wasteland. The longer we travel through it, the more my fingers itch to grab Nyla's reins and yank her the other way. But even if we turned around now, where in Sky's names would I go? My own brother hunts me. Father probably desires my head. I can hardly fathom all the lies mother's spinning in my absence. Perhaps if Binta was still at the palace, I would risk crawling back with my tail between my legs. But even she's gone. This sand is all I have left. Sadness swells inside me as I close my eyes and picture her face. Just a brief thought of her is almost enough to take me away from the hell of this desert. If she were here, she'd be smiling, laughing at the grains of sand that got stuck between her teeth. She'd find beauty in all of this. Binta found the beauty in everything. Before I can stop myself, my thoughts of Binta take me further, bringing me back to our days in the palace. One morning when we were young, I snuck her into mother's quarters, eager to show her my favorite jewels. As I climbed onto the vanity, I rambled on and on about the villages Enon was going to see on his military visits. It's not fair, I whined. He'll go all the way to Ikoyi, and he's going to see the actual sea. You'll get your chance. Binta stayed back, hands clamped to her side. No matter how many times I motioned her to join me, she insisted she couldn't. One day, I draped mother's prized emerald over my head, captivated by the way it glimmered in the mirror's light. What about you? I asked. When we leave, what village do you want to see? Anything. Binta's eyes lost focus. Everything. She bit her bottom lip as a smile came to her face. I think I'd love it all. No one in my family has ever traveled past Lagos's walls. Why not? I wrinkled my nose and rose to my feet, reaching for the case that held mother's antique headdress. It sat just above my reach. I leaned forward. Amari, don't! Before Binta's words could stop me, I lost my balance. With a jolt, I knocked the case over. It took all of 2 seconds before everything else came tumbling to the floor. Amari! I'll never know how a mother arrived so quickly. Her voice echoed under the arched entrance of her room as she took in the mess I had made. When I couldn't speak, it was Binta who stepped forward. My deepest apologies, Your Highness. I was told to polish your jewelry. Princess Amari was only coming to my aid. If you must punish someone, it should be me. You lazy brat. Mother snatched up Binta's wrist. Amari is a princess. She is not here to do your chores. Mother, that's not quiet, Mother snapped, snarling as she dragged Binta away. It's clear we've been too lenient with you. You'll benefit from the teachings of a whip. No, Mother, wait. Nyla stumbles, pulling me from the depths of my guilt. Binta's young face fades out of my mind as Zane struggles to keep us from collapsing down a mountain of sand. I grip the leather stirrups as Zele leans down and rubs Nyla's fur. "I'm sorry, girl," Zele soothes. "I promise we'll be there soon." "Are you sure?" My voice comes out dry, as brittle as the sand surrounding us, but I can't tell if the lump in my throat is from a lack of water or the memory of Binta. "We're close." Zane turns back, squinting to keep out the sun. Even with his eyes nearly shut, his deep brown gaze holds me, making my cheeks flush. "If we don't get there today, we'll hit Abiji tomorrow." "But what if the sunstone isn't in Abiji?" Zeli asks. "What if Leakin's lead was wrong? We only have 13 days until the solstice. If it's not here, we're damned." He can't be wrong. The thought makes my empty stomach lurch. All the determination I felt in Shadomble crumbles. Skies. All of this would be so much easier if Leakin were still alive. With his guidance and magic, Enon pursuing us wouldn't be a threat. We'd have a chance to find the sunstone. We might already be on our way to the sacred island to perform the ritual. But with Leakin gone, we're no closer to saving the Magi. If anything, we're just running out of time, marching toward our deaths. Leakin wouldn't lead us astray. It's here. Zane pauses, craning his neck. And unless that's a mirage, so are we. Zeli and I peer past Zane's broad shoulders. Heat bounces off the sand in waves, blurring the horizon. But in time, a cracked clay wall crystallizes into view. To my surprise, we're only 3 of many travelers making their way into the desert city from all directions. Unlike us, several of the migrating parties travel in caravans crafted from reinforced timber and embellished with gold. Vehicles so adorned they have to belong to nobles. A pulse of excitement travels through me as I narrow my eyes to get a closer look. When I was a child, I once overheard father warn his generals about the dangers of the desert, a land overpowered with grounders. He claimed their magic could transform every single grain of sand into a lethal weapon. Later that night, I told Binta what I learned as she combed through the tangles of my hair. "That's not true," she corrected me. "The grounders in the desert are peaceful. They use their magic to create settlements from the sand." In that moment, I pictured what a sand city would look like, unrestrained by the laws of materials and by laws and materials governing our architecture. If grounders really did rule the desert, their magnificent cities have crumbled, disappearing alongside them. But after 4 days in the ghastly desert, the meager settlement of Abiji simmers, the first sign of hope in this wretched wasteland. Thank the skies. Perhaps we shall survive after all. Shanty tents and clay ahiris greet us when we make our way past the wall. Like the slum dwellings of Lagos, the sand huts are stout and square, soaking in the rays of the sun. The largest of the ahiris looms in the distance, bearing a seal I know all too well. The carved snow leopard flickers in the sun, its sharp fangs bared to bite. "A guard post," I creak, tensing in Nyla's saddle. Though the royal seal is etched into the clay wall, it waves in my mind like the velvet banners in Father's throne room. After the raid, he abolished the old seal, a gallant, bull-horned lioneer that always used to make me feel safe. Instead, he proclaimed that our power would be represented by the snow leopardeers, riders who were ruthless. Pure. Amari. Ooh. That pure part I think is interesting because obviously we know his son isn't pure. Anyway, Amari, Zele hisses, snapping me out of my thoughts. She dismounts Nyla and wraps her scarf tighter around her face, urging me to do the same. Let's split up. Zane slides off Nyla's back and hands us his canteen. We shouldn't be spotted together, smart man. You guys get water. I'll find a place to stay. Zele nods and walks away, but once again Zane holds my gaze. You okay? I force a nod, though I cannot bring myself to speak. One glimpse of the royal seal, and it's like my throat has been filled with sand. Just stay close to Zele. Because you are weak, I imagine him spitting, though his dark eyes are kind, because despite the sword you carry, you cannot protect yourself. He gives my arm a gentle squeeze before taking Nyla by the reins and walking her in the opposite direction. I stare after his broad figure, fighting my desire to follow until Zele hisses my name. This will be fine. I put a smile in my eyes, though Zele doesn't even look my way. I thought things were starting to ease between us after Sokoto, but whatever goodwill I earned was crushed the minute my brother showed up at the temple. For the past 4 days, Zele has barely spoken to me, as if I'm the one who killed Leakin. The only time she does seem to look at me, I catch her staring at my back. I stay close as we continue down this empty streets, searching for food in vain. My throat screams for a cold cup of water, a fresh loaf of bread, a nice cut of meat. Speaking of water, y'all, no chalice still. No good cups out there for real. But unlike the merchant quarter of Lagos, there are no colorful storefronts, no displays of succulent delights. The town appears almost as starved as its surrounding desert. Yo, Tomei's pen is strong. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Gods, Zele curses under her breath, pausing as her shivers worsen. Although the sun beats down with a fury, her teeth clatter as if she's in an ice bath. Since her awakening, she shakes more and more, recoiling whenever she senses that the spirits of the dead are near. Are there that many? I whisper. She pants when one shiver stops. It's like walking through a burial ground. With heat like this, we probably are. I don't know. Zele looks around, yanking her scarf close. Every time one hits, I taste blood. A chill rocks through me, though sweat leaks from every pore. If Zele can taste blood, I don't want to know why. Perhaps I pause, stalling in the sand as a pack of men flood into the street. Though they're obscured by capes and masks, their dust-covered clothes bear Orisha's royal seal. Guards. I grab onto Zele as she reaches for her staff. Each soldier reeks of liquor. Some stumble with every step. My legs quake as if made of water. Then, quick as they came, they disperse, disappearing among the Clea Harries. Get yourself together, Zele shoves me off of her. I fight not to tumble into the sand. There is no sympathy in her gaze. Unlike Zane, her silver eyes rage. The words are weak, though I will them to be strong. I apologize. I was caught off guard. If you're going to act like a little princess, turn yourself into the guards. I'm not here to protect you. I'm here to fight. That's not fair. I wrap my arms around myself. I'm fighting too. Well, seeing as your father created this mess, if I were you, I'd fight a little harder. With that, Zele turns, kicking up sand as she storms off. My face burns as I follow, careful to keep my distance this time. We continue toward Abiji's central square, a collection of tangled streets and square huts crafted from red clay. As we near, we see more nobles gathering, conspicuous with their bright silk caftans and their trailing attendants. Although I don't recognize any, I adjust my scarf, worry that even the smallest slip will give my identity away. But what are they doing here, so far from the capital? There are so many nobles, they're only outnumbered by the laborers in the stocks. I pause for a moment, aghast at the number of them filling the narrow path. Before today, I caught only glimpses of the laborers brought into staff the palace. Always pleasant, clean, groomed to mother satisfaction. Like Binta, I thought they lived simple lives, safe within the palace walls. I never considered where they came from, where else they might have ended up. Skies. It's almost too hard to bear the sight. Mostly diviners, the laborers outnumber the villagers by hordes, dressed in nothing but tattered rags. Their dark skin blisters under the scorching sun, marred by the dirt and sand seemingly burned into their beings. Each is hardly more than a walking skeleton. Walking skeleton. I don't know why I kept trying to add the ing to skeleton. What's going on? I whisper, tallying the number of children in chains. Almost all of them are young. Even the oldest still appears younger than me. I search for the resources they must be mining, the freshly laid roads, the new fortress erected in this desert village. But no sign of their efforts appear. What are they doing here? Zele locks eyes with a dark girl who has long white hair like hers. The laborer wears a tattered white dress. Her eyes are sunken, devoid of almost all life. They're in the stocks, Zele mutters. They go where they're told. Surely it isn't this bad. In Lagos, I saw people who looked even worse. She moves toward the guard post at the central square while my insides twist. Though no food fills my stomach, it churns with the truth. All those years sitting silent at the table, sipping tea while people died. I reach forward to fill my canteen at the well, avoiding the guard's leering eyes. Zele reaches to do the same. The guard's sword slashes down with the fury. We jump back, hearts pounding. His sword cuts into the wooden rim where Zele's hand rested just seconds before. She grips the staff in her wristband, hand trembling with rage. My eyes follow the sword up to the glaring soldier who wields it. The sun has darkened his mahogany skin, but his gaze shines bright. I know you maggots can't read, he spits at Zele. For Sky's sake, learn how to count. He smacks his blade against the weathered sign. As sand falls from the grooves in the wood, its faded message clears. 1 cup equals 1 gold piece. Are you serious? Zele sees. We can afford it, I whisper. Oh, we can afford it, I whisper, reaching into her pack. But they can't. She points to the laborers, the handful carrying buckets drink water so polluted it might as well be sand. But this isn't time for rebellion. How can Zele not see that? Our deepest apologies. I step forward, calling forth my most deferential tone. I almost sound believable. Mother would be proud. I place 3 gold coins in the guard's hand and take Zele's canteen, forcing her to step back as I fill it. Here. I press the canteen into her hand, but Zele clicks her tongue in disgust. She grabs the canteen and walks back to the laborers, approaching the dark-skinned girl in white. Drink, Zele urges, quick before your stalker sees. The young laborer doesn't spare a second. She drinks the water hungrily, no doubt savoring her first drink in days. When she finishes a hearty swig, she passes the canteen down to the diviner shackled in front of her. With reluctance, I hand the 2 remaining canteens over to the other laborers. You're too kind, the girl whispers to Zele, licking the last droplets off her lips. I'm sorry I can't do more. You've done more than enough. Why are there so many of you, I ask, trying to ignore my dry throat. The stalkers send us here for the arena. The girl nods toward a spot just barely visible beyond the clay wall. At first, nothing sticks out against the red dunes and waves of sand, but soon the amphitheater fights its way through skies. I've never seen a structure so vast. A collection of weathered arches and pillars, the arena spreads wide across the desert, covering much of its arid land. You're building it. I scrunch my nose. Father would never approve of the stalkers building an edifice like this out here. The desert is too arid. There are only so many people this land can hold. The girl shakes her head. We compete in it. The stalkers say if we win, they'll pay off all our debts. Compete? Zele wrinkles her brow. For what? Your freedom? And riches. The laborer in front of the girl pipes up, water dripping from his chin. Enough gold to fill a sea. That's not why they have us compete, the girl cuts in. The nobles are already rich. They don't need gold. They're after Babalua's relic. Babalua, I ask? The god of health and disease, Zele reminds me. Every god has a legendary relic. Babalua's is the Ahun Soie, the jewel of life. Is it actually real, I ask? Just a myth, Zele answers. A story Magi tell diviners before they go to sleep. It's not a myth, the girl says. I've seen it myself. It's more of a stone than a jewel. But it's real. It grants eternal life. Zele tilts her head and leans forward. This stone, she lowers her voice. What does it look like? Chapter 23. Zele. The arena buzzes with the drunken chatter of nobles as the sun dips below the horizon. Though night falls, the amphitheater glows with light. Lanterns hang against the pillared walls. We push past the hordes of guards and nobles filling the stone-carved stands. I grip Zane for support, stumbling as we make our way through the weathered sand steps. Where'd all these people come from? Zane mutters. He forces his way through 2 Poseidon, wrapped in dirt-covered kaftans. Though Ibiji can't boast more than a few hundred residents, thousands of spectators fill the stands, a surprising number of them merchants and nobles. Everyone stares at the deep basin of the arena floor, united in their excitement for the games. You're shivering, Zane says when we sit. Goosebumps travel up and down my skin. There are hundreds of spirits, I whisper. So many died here. Now the blood makes sense. Makes sense if laborers built this place. They probably died by the dozens. I nod and sip from my canteen, hoping to wash the taste of blood from my mouth. No matter what I eat or drink, the copper tang won't go away. There are too many souls around me trapped in the hell of Apadi. Excuse me. I was always taught that when Orishans died, the blessed spirits rose to Alephia, peace, a release from the pain of our earth, a state of being that exists only in the gods' love. One of our sacred duties as reapers was to guide the lost spirits to Alephia, and in exchange they would lend us their strength. But spirits weighed down by sin or trauma can't rise to Alephia. They can't rise from this earth. Bound to their pain, they stay in Apidi. Apida. Apidi. Apida? Apadi. Apadi. I found it. Reliving the worst moments of their human memories again and again. As a child, I suspected that Apadi was a myth. I feel like I'm butchering that. I'm going to say Apadi. I like that better. A convenient warning to keep children from misbehaving. But as an awakened reaper, I can feel the spirits' torture, their unyielding agony, their never-ending pain. I scan the arena, unable to believe all the spirits trapped in the hell of Apadi within these walls. I've never heard anything like this. What in the gods' names happened here? Should we be looking around, Amari whispers. Search the arena for clues? Let's wait for the competition to start, Zane says. It'll be easier when everyone's distracted. As we wait, I look past the ornate silks of the nobles to inspect the arena's deep metal floor. It's a curious sight among the sand bricks filling the cracked arches and steps. I search for a sign of bloodshed in the iron. The strike of a sword, the cut of giant claws from wild riders, but the metal is untouched and untarnished. What kind of competition is this? A bell rings through the air. My eyes snap up as it incites cheers of excitement. Everyone rises to their feet, forcing Amari and me to stand on the steps just to see. The cheers grow louder when a masked man shrouded in black ascends a metal staircase, rising to a platform high above the arena floor. There's a strange aura about him, something commanding, something golden. The announcer removes his mask to reveal a smiling light brown face tanned by the sun. He brings a metal cone to his lips. Are you ready? The crowd roars with a ferocity that makes my eardrums ring. A deep rumble thunders in the distance, growing louder and louder until metal gates fly open on the sides of the arena floor, and an endless wave of water rushes in. This has to be a mirage. Yet liter after liter flows in. The water covers the metal ground, crashing with the expanse of a sea. How is this possible? I hiss under my breath, remembering the laborers, no more than skin and bone. So many dying for water, and they wasted on this? I can't hear you, the announcer jeers. Are you ready for the battle of a lifetime? As the drunken crowd screams, metal gates open on the arena sides. One by one, 10 wooden vessels float in, sailing through the waves of the makeshift sea. Each ship spans almost a dozen meters, mast high, sails unfurled. They float as their crews take position, manning the rows of wooden rudders and cannon lines. On every ship, an elaborately dressed captain stands at the helm, but when I look at the crews, my heart stops. Laborer in white sits among dozens of rowers with tears in her dark eyes, the girl who told us of the storm. Her chest heaves up and down. She grips a paddle for life. Tonight, 10 captains from all over Orisha battle for wealth greater than the king's. The captain and crew who win will bathe in a sea of glory, an ocean of endless gold. The announcer raises his hand, and 2 guards roll in a large chest of glittering gold pieces. An echo of awe and greed ripples through the stands. The rules are simple. To win, you must kill the captain and crew of every other boat. Over the past 2 moons, no one has survived an arena fight. Will tonight finally be the night we crown a victor? The crowd's cheers erupt again. The captains join in, eyes glittering at the announcer's words. Unlike their helpless crews, they aren't afraid. They only want to win. If a captain wins tonight, a special prize awaits, a recent find greater than any prize we've offered before. I have no doubt rumors of its greatness are why many of you have come tonight. The announcer saunters across his platform, building suspense. Dread gathers inside me as he raises the metal cone to his lips again. The captain who wins will walk away with more than just gold. He will receive the jewel of life, lost to time until this very moment. Babalua's legendary relic, the gift of immortality. The announcer takes the glowing stone from his cloak, words catch in my throat. More brilliant than the painting Leakin brought to life, the sunstone dazzles. The size of a coconut, the stone shines with oranges, yellows, and reds, pulsing beneath the smooth, clear crystal exterior. The very thing we need to complete the ritual. The last thing we need to bring back magic. The stone grants immortality? Amari cocks her head. Leakin didn't mention that. No, I reply, but it looks like it could. Who do you think will win? Before Amari can finish, deafening blasts explode through the air. The arena quakes as the first ship fires. 2 cannonballs shoot from the metal muzzles, merciless in their aim. They crash into the next boat's rowers, obliterating lives on impact. Ah! Vicious pain rips through my body, even though nothing strikes me. The thick taste of blood coats my tongue, stronger than it's ever been. Zell! Zane shouts. At least I think he shouts. It's impossible to hear him over the screams. As the ship sinks, the crowd's cheers blur with the shrieks of the dead overwhelming my mind. I feel it, I say, gritting my teeth to avoid a mangled cry. Each one, each death, a prison I can't escape. The blast of cannonballs shakes the walls. Shattered wood flies through the air as another ship goes down. Blood and corpses rain into the water, while injured survivors fight not to drown. Each new death hits me as hard as Leakin's spirit did at Shinomble, flowing through my mind and body. My head surges with broken, disparate memories. My body harbors all their pain. I black in and out of the agony, waiting for the horror to end. I get a flash of the girl in white, only now she's drowned in red. I don't know how long it lasts, 10 minutes, 10 days. When the bloodshed is finally over, I'm too weak to think, to breathe. Little remains of the 10 ships or their captains, each blown apart at each other's hand. Looks like another night without a victor. The announcer's voice booms over the cries of the spectators. He brandishes the stone, making sure it catches the light. It glimmers above the crimson sea, shining above the corpses floating among the shards of wood. The sight makes the crowd scream louder than they have all night. They want more blood. They want another fight. We'll just have to see if tomorrow's captains can win this magnificent prize. I lean into Zane and shut my eyes. At this rate, we'll die before we ever touch that stone. And unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till next time to see if they get it. So until then, y'all, I appreciate you tuning in and stopping by. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you next time. Peace.